There's 2 games left. The title is within our reach. Let's see if we can win it, shall we? What's up, guys? ChasingLamely here for episode number 73, I think? 74. Episode number 74, I remember, of Passport to Poland. In today's episode, we're playing the last 2 games of the season against Lech, Poznan and Zaglebie. Those eagle-eyed among you will spot we're currently second in the table, 1 point behind Cracovia. And Lech are still also in the fight for the title. So a three-way fight for the title going into the last game. In terms of what you've missed since we last played, a lot. The last game we did was the Lots game. We then beat Gornik 2-0, Darren Mitchell getting himself both goals. A really good sort of attacking performance from us. We then got a 1-0 scraped out against Jagiellonia, because Sterling with a penalty making the difference there. A 3-0 win against Lechia, with Marcin Jedrzejczyk getting himself a brace from left back, beautiful work, and Alex Rico adding insult to injury with a third. Cracovia then beat us, which is why they're top, unfortunately. Kazaya Sterling getting the goal there. And then we played Lech in the last game, beat them 2-0 with Mitchell and Gonzalez scoring. And it's been interesting of late, because I've had to rotate the team quite a lot, because we have quite a lot of high scoring strikers. In fact, the best way to show you how high scoring our strike force has been is probably to go into the stats page here. Let's go into the player overview and look at the goal scorers. There are 5 players top of the goal scoring charts, if it will show me them. I don't know why it's not showing me them, that's maddening. Details, in detail, that's why. Let's look in the right place. So Haris Seferovic is the top scorer in the league with 11 goals. Filip Šimčák has scored 10, Kazaya Sterling has scored 8, and there's some players not far behind. Kerry Wright's had 8 goals overall this season, Haris Seferovic has actually had 18, Sterling 15, Mitchell's had 5, and even if we go down here, I think he might be injured, which is why he's not showing, but Chris Devine's had like 3 or 4 in about 3 or 4 appearances as well. So real sort of the good kind of selection headache. If I've been trying to find the balance between who provides the most in terms, in fact I'm going to make that switch now, who provides the most in terms of assists and goals, because obviously Cruz and Devine both provide a lot of assists. Gonzalez provides assists and goals. Ribeiro is in there as well, and I have people I can switch in, switch out. I was just not a thought of. It's been a couple of days since I loaded up the save, and I couldn't remember for the life of me why Matty Longstaff wasn't there, but I think he's suspended. Either way, we've got a lot of rotation options, so things are looking interesting going into the game, which brings us to the first game quite nicely, against Poznan, who are still, in fact, they're no longer managed by our old boy Aaron Levy, which I hadn't noticed happen. I'm going to have a quick look, see what happened there, because it'd be nice to know if he's somewhere else we should be interested in. I can't imagine he got sacked. They've been on a really good run of form, so he must have just left. He was sacked, which is interesting because they were doing really well, and he's currently unemployed, which is disappointing. We'll add him to the old staff shortlist just so I don't lose track of him again, because if we can bring him in as some kind of assistant or something, we will do. Anyway, back to the game at hand with Thomas Kafarski opposite us. They've had the upper hand on us over us a few times. Farid Taheri is currently away on international duty with the German under-21s. Matty Longstaff confirmed that as suspended. So it should be an interesting tie. We need to win. We also need Lech to do us a favour in the next round of games, because they're playing Cracovia. So they need to do us a favour for us to be able to win the title. It's going to be touch and go, but the team today is going to be Sherpen, Cruz, Gomez, Guay, Devine, Rico, Ribeiro, Gonzalez, Lis, and we're starting with Šimčák and Wright up top. Wright playing as the pressing forward rather than the advanced forward today. Just because they're on the best form of the 2 strikers, that was literally all it came down to. Haris Seferovic might have the most goals, alongside Sterling, funnily enough, but these guys are on the best form, so it felt like the best thing to do was to put those guys in and give them that bit of trust. I don't know why Makoviak is currently on the bench, because he is not currently fully fit. we'll make that switch very quickly. Who is able to play left back and is fit is always the question. Put Rebus in. Why not? We very rarely will need to. Jedrishik is currently injured or carrying a knock at least, so we won't risk him. Yeah, so bench-wise, Seferovic, Francis, Panada, Sterling, Quinn, Rebus, Pietrus, Norwood and Mitchell on the bench. So 3 good striker options should we need to find a goal. And of course we've got Nick Francis, the lone man from Spurs, who is an excellent free kick taker. So we have options, but let's get into the game. Let's see what Lech are going to put up against us. Hopefully not. They won't put up too much of a fight, and we can just put them down because they've got nothing to play for at this stage in the season. I don't think they can do any better than they already have. So we're just going to have to hope for the absolute level best we can get out of them. Is going to be the issue here. Let's hope good times are going to roll, because we need good times to roll. Okay, team-wise, they're playing a 3-5-2 essentially. Lots of youngsters here. Ronya, I think, is a guy they had around for a while. He has been around for a while. He's looked good against us in the past. He's currently for sale, which is interesting. I wouldn't buy him because obviously his scout report is pretty bad, but interesting they'd have a guy who was on the list in their team. Otherwise, the only guy we need to worry about, I think, is Manalo. I think he's been an issue against us before. Kaminsky, their top scorer. Only had 10 goals as well, so I say only had 10 goals. We've got guys who aren't on much more, who are top scorers. But probably their biggest threat, and Yusuf as well, has scored against us before, so we'll keep an eye on that. I think Sevcic has been a problem against us too, and he's their top goal scorer, so interesting that he's on the bench. We'll see what becomes of this. Challenge to pick up where they left off, they seem fairly alright with that. Alright, let's see what we can do. I'd like us to pick up a win. Obviously, I'd like Cracovia to draw or lose, ideally, because that's going to be our best shot of getting something from this game. Reece Devine didn't come in fully fit, neither did Shimchak, but we'll make it work somehow. Devine picking up a yellow already, which is never beneficial, because we don't need any more red cards happening. Matty Longstaff being suspended again, this time just for accumulating bookings rather than anything else, but we'll see what happens as Felipe Cruz makes a throw in to Shimchak, back to Cruz. What's Cruz got to offer? Ball inside, he's found Rico back out to the left to Devine, to Gonzalez, back to Devine, back to Gonzalez. Gonzalez plays Devine through, he's one-on-one and he's just put it wide, and that's pretty shambolic, but at least we had some kind of highlight. Let's do another Get Creative shout and see what that produces. Interesting that we're not dominating possession today. That's something I would like to see change. Luka Manalo picking up a knock will help us though. Shimchak needs to come into the game. Kwiatkowski has also now picked up a knock. This is interesting, they're dropping like flies. We're coming into half time. We'll do another Get Creative just to see if we can push anything through before half time. We can't, and we'll see what we can make happen in the second. Nobody's really setting the world on fire today. It's a bit of a lackluster performance, which is disappointing. Krakow are currently losing as well, which isn't going to help us. Though it is interesting to know that even if we finish level on points, we are behind them on goal difference because we've lost to them. Shvigala into Yusuf. We need to get something happening as soon as possible here. Creativity is going to be a necessary. Leisure are also winning, which is going to bring them right back into the fight. Kiev Wright has made a tackle though, and he's just clean through, but there's just been one-on with the keeper, which means he'll mess it up somehow. He hasn't, he's scored. Kiev Wright has scored, we are ahead, and it is 1-0. And that worked out far better than I thought. It's really weird seeing football with fans in the stands. Good crowd today as well, really big crowd for what's our last home game of the season, I believe. The people obviously believe, and as things stand, I think this puts us top of the table. It does, which is definitely an advantage we need to have going forward. I guess the Get Creative shout went out after the first goal, which is not a bad thing. Let's do another one, why not? Although in fairness, we could be about to score a second, who knows. Akira Wright with a big ball forward, doesn't really find Shimchak, but comes back to Wright. ball across the field to Ribeiro, to Rico, into List, out to Gonzalez. Gonzalez finds Devine on the overlap. Reece Devine, if he can get a cross in here, it could be dangerous. Ball back to List. Valdemar List gets his 4th of the season. Assist from Reece Devine. And, it's looking good. It's looking really, really good right now. Cannot knock that at all. Let's have a quick look at the replay. Gonzalez to Devine. Devine just took his time, cut it back to List, who saw an opportunity, squeezed it into the post, and that's why we want to keep Valdemar List around for as long as we can. I'm going to take Reece Devine off, not as a reflection of him performing badly, per se. I'm going to put on Nick Francis. The left-hand side isn't his best by any stretch, but he can do it. Just to give him a rest, because we're going to need him for the second game. I might also take Shimchak off. Let us go with Bright and Sterling up top. Why not use that as a thing? Because we've not done that in quite some time. Just to keep some guys fresh and ready. Guay is feeling pressured, which is interesting. I don't really want him feeling pressured by being 2-0 up. If we can help it. There's guys feeling complacent as well. We're going to give him some praise. Kloss with a free kick deep in his own half. We can maybe return this to him. Sevcic on the field, though he's played in Yusuf. We need to not crumble late in the game like we've been doing recently. Kostovic finds his way through. Let's keep that out. Sherpen's tipped it over the bar, but they will get a corner. Got to defend really well from this corner. Otherwise, I'm going to have to really think about going very defensive to hold on to this lead. Sevcic with the corner. Let's get rid of this as fast as we can. List just hooks it into the stands. He knows what he's doing. He's not messing around today. And let's see what we can hold on to. I'm tempted to take one of the midfielders off and drop a midfielder back. Headed towards Sherpen. Sherpen saves it very well. I'd like a third goal. A third goal would make me feel far more confident in the team right now. Sherpen rolling it backwards to Gomez, which is interesting. Rico with a big ball forward finds Nick Francis on the overlap, which is always interesting. Ball forward to Keziah Sterling, who's taken it off the toe of the defender. Big cross in towards Ribeiro. Felipe Cruz from distance gets his 3rd of the season. And having Felipe Cruz on always makes me feel a little bit better. I know Nick Francis is an excellent player, but and he's been instrumental in this, but Felipe Cruz always feels like he provides a little bit more to me. It'd be nice to be able to play them together more often. But also Reece Devine is pretty strong. I'm going to make one last sub now. We're 3-0 up. I can't take Valdemar List off, unfortunately, because he's the only under-22 player on the field. I'm going to send in Oliver Norwood. He's not really played a lot this season, which is a shame, because he's actually quite good. We're going to hope we can just hold on to things. We're going to drop some praise. Felipe Cruz with another throw-in. Kloss will head it clear Kostievich, but Rico is there to pick it up, and he will have plenty of time to make a decision. Finds Valdemar List back to Rico. Head to Francis. Francis one-on-one with the keeper. Nick Francis really should have buried that, but he's not a man in possession of a left foot, really. He can do the defensive job on the left-hand side. He's just not much good going forward on the left-hand side. But he is valuable if we get a free kick, which is also worth bearing in mind. Kostovic to Kloss, ball forward to Yusuf. Headed away, Rico's going to pick it up. Can we get a 4th goal? That would be excellent. Akeri right, ball forward to Keziah Sterling. Sterling, one touch past his man. Straight at the keeper. Veglas tips it behind. We're going to get a late corner, and we're going to see what we can achieve from this. Valdemar List taking the corner, unusually really, because when Francis is on the pitch, he tends to take it himself. But there we go. Ronya heads it out, and only as far as Ribeiro, but Kostovic punishes him for dallying on the ball. That's been cleared. Let's just see this one out. We're just going to see this one out. If I get another chance to praise the boys, I'll praise the boys. I probably won't, but we'll keep that open just in case I do. We won't. There we go. 3-0 win. Hopefully that has seen us top. It has seen us top. Cracovia losing to Gornik, which is just embarrassing for them. Gornik started the day bottom of the championship group, and they may have just cost Cracovia the title, because we know that destiny is in our own hands for the second game. Mark Guay seems confused. Alright, good work. Pointless. Let's try doing this ourselves. You have done... I'm pleased. I'm pleased. There we go. Mark Guay is confused, but he always seems confused. Seems to be the curse of having him as a player. Mark Guay is still confused. I don't know. He just needs to stop being confused. Right. So, we have the opportunity to win the title away at our rivals, Zaglebie Lubin. That's very much the situation we find ourselves in. It's going to be challenging. They have been... Well, they've been in the mix pretty much until it broke into the championship group. So I guess their issue all season has just been they can maybe scrape results against big teams, but they can't do it every week. Which, you know, you need to be able to do to win the title in the Polish League. That's just how it goes. So we're going to see how this all shakes out. But also, Lech are playing Cracovia on the final day of the season, and Lech, I believe, are on pretty good form. If they can carry that form through, even though the title's now out of reach, which I think it is for them. Quick look. I think it's out of reach because I don't think Lech have beaten us twice. Cracovia have beaten us once. Weird. They've got they're considered to have a better record than us. I'm not sure why that's organised that in that way. Let's have a look at Lech. How have Lech done against us? It's buried in here somewhere. Lech got a draw against us early doors. Last time we played them, they got... We only played them once. We beat them 3-0. I'm just trying to work out why Krakow have got a better record. We've beaten them twice. I don't know. I'm sure it all makes sense somewhere. We've gone top. We will do the press conference just to see what praise we can lavish on some people. Puts us top of the league. It's very pleasing. Pleased with the performance we are. And he had a great game. He was faultless today. Good stuff. And we're going to give Liss his praise too, because he's done very well. Right. We'll come back in a second for the final game of the season, and we'll see just how things are going to shake out. Stick with me. Okay, guys and gals. One game for all the marbles. That's what we're dealing with now. We're playing our rival Zaglebie in the derby that never ends. We're also keeping a close eye on Krakow and Lech. We need Lech to win it. However, this is a big however. If Lech win and we lose, Lech might actually have a shot at the title, because I still can't figure out the league sorting rules, and I've been staring at them for 10 minutes. I don't understand how Cracovia were above us when we were level on points, but you know, we'll figure it all out. There's got to be some kind of logic to it. I'm just not sure what that logic is. But yeah, if Lech beat Cracovia and we lose, I think Lech win the title. If Cracovia win and we lose, Cracovia win the title. If Cracovia win and we draw, Cracovia win the title. We just need to beat Zaglebie. They've got nothing to play for, so hopefully they'll do the same as Lech did and just kind of capitulate. With the favourites, strong form, good everything. Their form, this is why they've dropped out of the title race. Their form recently has been appalling. Hopefully we'll take advantage of that. The only person missing there is Farid Tahiri, who probably wouldn't have started anyway, so that's not going to be the biggest drama. He would have been on the bench, but he probably wouldn't have started. Yeah, so, lineup-wise, I've had to make a couple of changes because these games are 2 days apart. So we've got Sherpin in goal, Francis starts, Gomez and Guay start in the centre, Reese Devine at left back, Rico, Longstaff, Gonzalez and Liss are the midfield. Hopefully Matty Longstaff will avoid getting sent off today. And then we're starting with Darren Mitchell and Keziah Sterling up top because both strikers weren't knackered. So Seferov, I say they were knackered, but you can see they weren't. I say weren't. They're on 92. I just want to make sure I'd have to make a few changes. I've got an idea that the changes I'll have to make will be Devine, Gonzalez and Liss. They'll be the guys I have to replace. Anyway, bench, Seferovic, Cruz, Panada, Wright, Belodi, Jedrashik, Pietrus, Ribeiro and Shimchak. That is what we're looking at. So let's get into it. And let's win ourselves a league title, shall we? Let's win ourselves a league title, he says. It's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy at all. We've got some good relationships, though, that have formed among our players, which is good to see. Some green lines all over the park. Right, Zaglebie. anyone playing there we need to worry about. We know Sliss is good. We know Akanji can be really dangerous. Lukasovic, who is their top scorer, a regen, 18 years old. That's filthy. Who's he wanted by? He's probably leaving. We'll get a proper scout report on him though, because if we find a way to buy him, maybe someone we can bring into the fold. See how he goes. No one else. Zabski was good against us last time as well, so we'll keep an eye on Zabski. There's no one who jumps out as being us to worry about, so that's always good. Let's get into it, see what we can achieve today. Not going to lie, I'm a little bit nervous about this one. A little bit nervous. It's just so much on the line. A whole season on the line. I'm not going to shout just yet. Zabski's got himself a throw into Schliss. Let's tackle him. Please tackle Zabski. Please tackle anybody. Tackle anybody. Let's get rid of this. Oh, Francis there to clear it. And now Kazaya Sterling can get on the end of it, but only for about a split second before he was tackled. And now they're back at us with Corrado, who I remember also being good against us last time. I don't think we played Petrov before, but he might be dangerous. Generally speaking, if you see anyone foreign in the Polish league, they tend to be pretty good. Or certainly pretty good by the standards of the Polish league. I'm not sure why. I guess it's because the level of the league, you can sign a cheap player from Spain or from Croatia or whatever, and they'll tend to be good enough to play in the league. Zabski gets the ball across to the guy whose name I can't pronounce, and early shot, early corner. This is going to be a really tight game. Ockensey with the corner. Let's get rid of this. That's some good work by Alex Rico, and Liss hoofs it forward to Sterling, and maybe we can start a counter attack. Sterling's still on the ball and he's given it away to Pareba and now Corrado. Oh, it's a worry. They've got three very tired players on the pitch. Okanji, Lukasovic and Polidar are tired. So's Corrado, to be fair. So, worth bearing in mind. I'm going to switch the league table to the latest scores, I think, just because we know the permutations. We don't need to see the table unless things start going directly against us. Essentially, we need to match the Krakow game or better is what we're looking to do. Zabskiak on the ball. Okanji will pick it up on the right. Maybe we need to try some pressing. You've been taught to press. You can do this. We're still playing the Gegen press tiki-taka mix tactic, so you should be able to figure out how to press. Davidoff with the ball forward only finds Francis. Liss back to Francis. Francis with the ball inside to Gonzalez. Gonzalez will find Reese Devine out left, and now Reese Devine can go on the attack. Hopefully thinks better of it, plays it back to Rico. Rico back to Guay. Hopefully Guay won't play it straight back to the keeper. He doesn't. Big ball over the top to Reese Devine. Good hooked long ball. And now Gonzalez back on it. Rico back to Gonzalez. Gonzalez probably going back. He is to Rico, to Francis, who's through. 1-on-1 with the keeper. And Nick Francis is not a goal scorer from close range. He's alright with a free kick. He'll score the odd free kick, but 1-on-1 with a keeper at that range, it's not going to happen for him. I'm going to do a get creative shout because I've shouted nothing from the bench so far, and I don't want the players to see the nerves, or they're fairly nervous as well. It's going to be a tight one. That's going to be Reese Devine suspended for the first game of next season. Let's get rid of this. Just over the bar. I think that's Alex Rico suspended too. Oh well. Valdemar Liss has picked up a knock. That's no good to me whatsoever. We're going to have to keep him on and see how he progresses, because the only other option I've got is to ring on Shimchak and drop Sterling behind, which I've not tried before, so I don't know how effective it will be. I could bring on Pietrus, but we'll see. Francis with a free kick. He's better from here. He plays it in cross ball. Corrado, though, will pick it up, and now we need to just try and defend this. Big ball forward. Let's get someone on the end of it. Alex Rico is going to be the man that picks it up. Back to Sherpen, and let's build from the back. Building from the back is always the way. Guay. Back to Sherpen, who's in danger. Big ball forward. Doesn't really find Mitchell, and now Petrov has picked it up. Marque to Sliss, and we really have to get involved here. Reese Devine decides to cut it out, and now we can go on the attack. He's got two guys with him. He might go it alone. He might cut it back. does some combination of the two, and it doesn't come off. And Lech are currently leading, so we're going to have to get a quick look at the league table to see how that looks. That's not too bad. That if things stay like that, that's not the worst thing that can happen to us. Let's do a creative shout. Why not? Reese Devine's going to have to come off, or he's just become one of our better players. Right, let's make the change with Valdemar List for a start. Let's protect him. So we'll put Keziah Sterling back in the holding role. And then we can send on Shimchak because we don't really have a choice. I don't know if either of these guys can play pressing forward. I've not really tried either of them there. We'll keep it like that for now. If I need to bring on a pressing forward, I've got Seferovic there. Small things to worry about right now. Cracovia have got themselves back on level terms, and Lech have had a man sent off. This isn't good. We need to score a goal now. Francis just throws the ball away, literally throws the ball away, and now Bukowski is going to run at us. Let's get some tackling going, guys. Let's get involved with the tackling. Do I have shouts available to me? I do. I'm going to do a show some passion, regardless of whether they score or not. Gomez, to Longstaff. Francis picks it up. Back to Gomez. Gomez needs to get this forward. Francis, come on. Oh, that's a good ball over the top. Mitchell's going to run onto it. Can he score? Oh, straight at the goalkeeper. And you'd have put money on Mitchell to score there. He's usually pretty good on a one-on-one. He's the one striker in the squad I can say that about. I'm going to take off Reese Devine, I think. I think I'm going to put Felipe Cruz on. I'm going to do the thing I did last time. We're going to move Nick Francis to left back and see how that shakes out. I'm aware Gonzalez is tired, but you know, who comes on is the question there. Let's do a get creative. Let's make a sub. Why not? Take Gonzalez off. Ribeiro. It's going to have to be Ribeiro. We'll switch him to the right hand side though, because he is very much a right sided player. As we've got a goal kick, Sherpen plays it to Gomez. A short pass. Can we get this forward? Forward to Felipe Cruz on the right hand side to Matty Longstaff. Longstaff to Gonzalez. Gonzalez with a big ball forward to Felipe Cruz, and Felipe Cruz, fresh legs, able to run at people. Can he get a cross in? He gets tackled by Marque. And now we're in danger though. Gomez clears it to Gonzalez, to Rico, back to Gonzalez, and a ball forward to Cruz again, who's got more space this time. If he can just get it in, he can. Shimchak, Philip Shimchak gets himself the 12th goal of the season, and that's the title. That should be the title. Also, I think I've just thrown my shoulder out, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll take the pain. Shimchak with a header, and we are 1-0 up, and I no longer feel bad about sending Philip Shimchak on. We'll make the sub anyway because Gonzalez was tired. We're gonna just hope this does something now. Well, we're just gotta hold on. Hladden with a ball forward, only as far as Mitchell though, who brings Rico into play. Rico gets tackled by Bukowski, and we need to defend this rapidly. Everyone back. Petrov one-on-one with Sherpen. We'll pick those up all day because that was a weak shot. And now we just need to see things out. And the best way to see things out is to go very attacking, because usually that stops any more highlights appearing. Oh, I've thrown this away. Get rid. Oh, no. No. Okay, let's check the league table. We should actually be okay. We should be okay for now. It's still 1-1 at Cracovia. Still 1-1. Oh, no, I'm glad I put it on very attacking, because we need to actually score a goal to be safe now. And we very much need Cracovia to not score. Let's hope we see it through. Champions. Oh. Heart was in the mouth. From the second the equaliser went in. I don't want to see the stats right now. I want to see the title celebration. I want to see the trophy in the hands. I want to see the celebration. I don't know why we're showing the Zaglebie fans. It just feels like we're taking the mick a little bit. They are our biggest rivals. You'd think we'd just go and celebrate with the corner that is our fans, but apparently we're just gonna rub it in. Oh, it's back-to-back titles. That's back-to-back titles. That's 3 titles in 4 years, but it's back-to-back titles, which I was genuinely worried wasn't possible at the start of the series, or the start of the season even. I genuinely thought we'd have the same experience with the Champions League and the league that we did the first time and we'd just fall apart, but we've managed to hold it together. We got to the group stage of the Champions League, and we've just won the league title at our rival's place. That's thoroughly spectacular. Let's just see how everything else shook out. Lech were able to hold on for the draw. That's worked out really well for us. Let them know the performance was disappointing. Guys, we're champions. Shut up. Just let me do the team talk. If the best you can do is, oh, you were disappointing. That's not a time for disappointing. This is a time for celebration. We are the champions. We are the champions of Poland, and we are back in the Champions League, and this year we're going to get ourselves a point. It's such a small target, but I just want to get ourselves a point in the group stage. That would be immense progress for us. Hopefully we'll get a slightly easier group than this year, because, you know, Milan and Ajax and Bayern Munich was not the one. Relegation group will not finish just yet. I'm curious as to what it will say for budgets, because we're currently in the midst of a board takeover. So I actually can't buy any players. I'm under a transfer embargo, so I don't know what's going on. We've done the double because we also won the Super Cup this season, which is a good milestone. Valdemar List will be out for 8 days, but he's on his holidays now, so that's fine. We've qualified for the Champions League. Let's do the press conference, and then we'll see what our budget looks like. We'll say we were among the favourites. It could have been far more comfortable. I'm delighted because we worked hard. It's a special day. It's always a special day when you win the title. I'm going to say out that one because why not? Winning the board, the fans are going to be more demanding when there's Pirates pressure on. That one, why not? Can we build on the success? We are capable of going on and becoming a force. We'll learn from the experience. We'll say it was the right outcome because it doesn't matter. So executed must be proud the club appears to be on course to realise its long-term vision. It's just the start. Right, let's see what budgets we're getting to play with. 5.2 million to spend and a 230k transfer. Wage budget, what? That's by far the biggest budget we've had. If I can find a way to actually spend it, we're going to have a good summer. That's going to be tomorrow's episode. A, seeing who leaves, because some players are going to have to leave, but also seeing who, if anyone, we can bring in. So the club is for sale. There are currently 2 consortia looking at buying the club, and one of them wants to fire me and one of them doesn't. I don't know who's going to get it. I just want it resolved as fast as possible. In the meantime, we've entered the Polish Hall of Fame. I don't know who else is on the impressive list of greats. I actually don't know who many of those guys are. I know who Henrik Kasperczak is. I think he was... I think he managed in Scotland off the top of my head. He definitely managed abroad somewhere. And Maciej Szkorza, who I guess is still in the game somewhere. He's currently the manager of Corona, who just got relegated. The greatest manager in Polish history just got relegated. Anyone else still going? Stalaszyk is the Legia manager. He's done pretty spectacular stuff over the last few seasons. Anyone else who's good? Franciszek Szmuda is a name I know as well. Postel, he was a former Slask manager, the guy who won all the trophies in the 80s. Lazarek, and then this guy, Edvard Cibula, were the only foreign manager in this list, which is interesting. Right, we've been praised for our spirit by whoever Richard Tarashevich is. He's the manager of Mietz, which is interesting. Was he part of the club at some point? Oh, he's an old manager of the club. There we go. He said good things about us. We've pleased the board, which is always good. Who's getting medals? These guys are getting medals. Um, who's done the least work for a medal? Well, that's going to be Pierre Vinicius and Marcin Paszek, who just both made one sub appearance. At least Chris Devine chipped in a couple of goals, but Juan Mata gets one. Aaron O'Neill gets one. Marcin Pietras, Sarnowski and Johansson, and all these guys are getting medals all around. Nico Williams hasn't even been at the club for months. He's currently, I forget where he's on loan, Warsaw, I think? Fleetwood. Yeah, he's getting himself a championship medal. Some good work going on there for the guys. So let's see what else we've got. Around £500,000 for monies. We've still got quite a few millions in the bank, which is going pretty well. If it shows it's just got 13 million in the bank, which is a pretty solid thing. Our projection is that it should remain fairly steady with extra Champions League income. That's all pretty solid. Right, so I think that's everything we need to do. I mean, it is everything we need to do this season. We've won the title, boys. We've won the title. Confirmation there, we've won the title. There, even. You know, really close run thing. It's been a really good season as well. Really good. I say really good. We crashed out of the FA Cup because I got cocky against Hojnicza Hojnica. My fault. Entirely my fault, but such is life. Reached the group stage of the Champions League. We won the Super Cup. We won the Ekstrklasa. Haris Seferovic and Filip Šimčák have, I guess, shared the top goal scorer on us. Oh no, because Adeyemi got himself a couple on the last day. Excellent. Well, it all worked out for us in the end. And finally, the club vision. Let's see how we're doing in terms of the board expectations. Hopefully fairly well. We've got a B. They hated the fact that we didn't reach the final of the FA Cup. They didn't care about the Super Cup. Won the Ekstrklasa, reached expectations, well, exceeded expectations in the Champions League. We're on course with the wage budget because they just put it up. And they're happy with the way we're playing football, so I'm pretty happy. Right, let's call that a day, I guess. Right, thanks for watching, guys. I feel like winning a league title, back-to-back league titles, and indeed a double this season, probably deserves a like, so maybe hit the like button. If you're one of the people who doesn't subscribe but watches the channel, subscribe, because that way you'll be able to see everything that goes on next season as we defend our title, try and make it 3 in a row, and try and do better in the Champions League. Also, socials are down here. There's Twitter, there's Insta, there's Patreon, all ChasingLamely. Yeah, until next time, guys, I have been the aforementioned ChasingLamely, 3-time league champion of Poland. Thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon. Have a good one.